emotionally, what was the most challenging scene?
Emotionally, it was the most challenging scene. Okay, that's different. Let's see. I mean, I think a basis answer is the car fight scene, you know.
Mm, that
That
was
was
Joan's answer too.
okay, awesome. I mean, like, it's also because that scene was like, that was the first scene that me and Joan filmed together, so it was just more difficult because of that, because it was basically our first time meeting, it was our first time trying our chemistry out. And our first time trying our chemistry out was basically us just shouting at each other in the car for like an hour. So that was pretty extreme. And also because before that, I was basically for 10 days, doing mostly improv acting and like not really like acting. So then when Joan came in and she was like, "All right, let's rehearse," I was just like, "Oh, damn it, I have to do my job," you know? So,
Oh no, work.
but in the end, it all worked out, and I kind of realized I have to be an actor sometimes too. So that was a learning lesson.
Yeah, did that help with your sort of emotional journey with both the with her character and yours? Because if you're starting off from this place of conflict and then you kind of have to like come to acceptance.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the most of the time, the emotional journey with characters is like you try to have that like feeling throughout the script. But obviously, in movies, you don't follow the script, right? You jump from
Right.
one point to another in filming. So you kind of have to like basically switch moods per scene, right? Which can be difficult sometimes. But I think that like starting off with that fighting scene was a little bit more difficult because, right? We're starting at this like peak anger moment, like in like towards the end of the movie, and then we have to go tone it back down, back to like say filming like the dinner scene or something like that, you
Yeah.
know. But in the end, it still did eventually work out, and as long as I mean, I trusted Joan and Joan trusted me, and we both ended up figuring it out. So
I think you mentioned at the film festival you were homeschooled, right? Because you were working and all that. Okay, so what how did working on the set like compare to what you would think a middle school experience would be like?
oh man, I don't even want to imagine what a middle school experience would be like for me now, considering how like I mean I know a few middle schoolers and I've actually gone to I can't remember why, but I went to a middle school before with some of my friends and just all the kids were just so weird. Like
Why?
not in a weird not like in a like they're just like they're just like us like in the movie where we're like influenced by media and have all this like weird stupid slang and like we would like and they were like talking about like all these brain rot terms and I was just like, oh man, thank God I didn't go to middle school. But I mean, it might if I actually did end up going to middle school, I'd probably be as weird as them. I'd be influenced by my friends to like learn all the new slang and all what's the new terms that everyone uses because I don't want to fall behind.
Mm,
I don't want to be behind in my friends. So I guess that's where the relatability in the movie comes in.
yeah, absolutely. Speaking of, this is of my era, not yours, but what would your MySpace profile song be? Because it was a very important thing at the time.
Yeah, I try to change my answer every time and it always gets weirder. Um, I'd say like goat screaming for like 10 minutes or something. Just a
Fair
scream.
enough.
Like while you're on my MySpace page, it's just a goat screaming at you.
How did Sean explain what MySpace was to you out of curiosity, or did you already know?
I didn't know what I like yeah, I literally didn't know what MySpace was at all before filming this. And like basically and Sean was just like, "Oh yeah, this is MySpace." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks, Sean." You know? I mean, but I mean it makes sense because all the stuff was really done in post-production and so
Mhm.
I didn't really have to learn much, but I at the end I kind of learned what MySpace was, and I basically only know what MySpace was because of that movie. So
That's deeply upsetting to me as a mildly elder. um, so one of the things of the time is there's almost nothing colder or more devastating you could do to somebody than remove them from your top eight, which happens, spoilers, in this film.
yeah,
Have you ever experienced something of a similar level of devastation, like interpersonal?
man, I think like maybe like being removed off of one of my friends' close friends lists on Instagram.
Oh,
I think that's like a pretty similarly devastating experience I went through because I was like, dang it, I messed up, you know, and like it's
how did
odd.
you find out?
Well,
Who
it's odd.
snitched?
Like, it's like eventually when you stop seeing the close friend stories, you're just like, oh yeah, I know, I'm not on there anymore. But I think yeah, I mean, but it's not as devastating as being taken off of the top eight. I don't think there's really much that can compare to like having someone up there and then like being removed is like kind of insane. That's like top of the line level. I mean, maybe getting kicked out of a friend group is pretty bad, but like still
Yeah,
being
but this is public. Like this is
yeah,
everybody. Not only are you getting kicked out of
everyone
a friend
knows.
group, everybody knows.
Yeah, that's like public embarrassment. So
Yeah,
I don't think there's really much that can compare.
times were tough. We were a hardened generation.
Exactly.
What is your peacemaking meal? Like, what is something that somebody could offer you, and no matter how angry you are with them, you're like, oh, fine, okay, we're gonna, So like for the family, it's the burgers. For
Man, I think like stir fried pork belly,
oh,
with like the one my mom makes is like amazing. Or maybe sushi. If you have
okay,
good high quality sushi, I'm like, all right, well, I'm angry at you, but fine,
all right, good to know. You've heard it here, folks. Like, if you need to extend an olive branch, it's in the form of sushi. Um, what is the greatest sacrifice someone in your family has made for you?
Ugh, the biggest sacrifice, I think my mom giving up her job to drive me around, um, to for work for
Oh
me.
man.
That's a, but I think it was a mix of like one because she was also like busy at home, and two because I was doing my thing. I mean, I can ask my mom. Mom, did you give up your job because I was acting? Because I love you, Isaac. Because she loves me, Isaac, is what she said. So,
I heard. Yeah, she wants to try to support you. It's you. You thank her. I don't know if she can hear me, but
thanks, Mom.
growing up, who was your favorite fictional character?
Oh man. Oh, there's so many. I really loved like I really loved like cartoon characters. Like I mean, in anime stuff, I
Okay.
like loved Pokemon. I loved Ash Ketchum. Uh, like Pokemon was like my favorite thing ever. My favorite Pokemon of all time is still Snorlax. Um,
For what reason? And I have a very extensive knowledge of Pokemon, so
I mean, like, dude, he's just such a sleepy guy, and like,
okay.
it's
Not
just
because he's a
so.
normal type, not because he's the first like encounter
It's also
in the
because
wild.
he is one of the first encounters in the wild. But I think like in the anime itself, it's just so funny how he's shown. I always laughed when he would come on screen because he's just this giant like bear thing that just sleeps wherever the hell it wants, and you can't wake it up. So if it's just sleeping and snoring really loudly, it's just like a constant alarm clock going off in your ear. And I
Yeah.
think like it's just he's just such a funny dude because I love sleeping. Who
He's
doesn't? So.
also food motivated,
I'm
That's one of the
very
few
food
things that
motivated. Very food motivated.
All right, I like that answer a lot. What is the first film that you saw in theaters that you were the impetus for going to go see? So you saw a trailer somehow and you're like, can we please go see this?
Man, I think it was a combination of me and my dad. Oh, my mom. My mom didn't go though. Did you go? It was the Demon Slayer movie. Dude,
Okay.
I wanted to watch that so badly. It was oh man, I forgot what the actual thing is called. It was like the train arc where like with oh, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But God, that movie was so
Okay.
freaking good. It was like so good. I cried so much. I cried so hard.
Feelings are valid. What is something that you have not explored yet creatively that you would like to?
Oh, creatively? I like to fun for fun. I just like to copy Sean's answer and say ceramics. But
Oh,
I,
okay.
I feel like creatively, I feel like I do want to pursue filmmaking more. I want to like
Uh-huh.
try making short films with my friends and stuff. But like besides that, there's really nothing much. I think that's about it.
What did you learn from the like skate part of this filmmaking part that you would apply to like your future filmmaking?
I love fisheye cameras. I've fallen in love with fisheye cameras. They're just so cool. I love like the point five feeling of it, but it's also just like the weird like field of vision
Distortion. Yeah.
distortion it provides exactly. And so I don't think I could ever like not use a fisheye camera in my life anymore. Speaking of which,
Okay.
Sean still has to give me my camera back. He took my camcorder because we were filming something, and I still need it back. So
I mean, Sean's not great with cameras. He just left one when we were at that premiere thing, like sitting on the floor.
he did do
So,
that.
yeah, You
Pretty
should watch
amazing.
out. You should. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying Yorgos Lanthimos, also a big fan of the fisheye camera. If you want to see some cinematography, you might be a little young for his work, but
Probably might be, but it's
yeah,
okay.
someday you can check out his DP's work. My last question is, what is one '90s trend that you're aware of that you would like to revive,
90s. Oh,
or early 2000s, I guess?
I mean, I don't think light up sneakers were a thing in early 2000s, but that's something that I've always been saying. But I think for early 2000s, a trend that would be cool to come back. Man, sideways hats. Bring back sideways hats. You know, you know how people used to rock the sideways
Yes,
hats.
I know. I
Bring back the
What
sideways
is what is
hats.
stopping you from bringing back light up sneakers? There we go. There we go. Is that the official DD hat?
Not really official. It's just the Ranch 99 DD hat. So or 99
There's the
Ranch,
Ranch.
depending on
No,
how
it's
you.
Ranch 99, and
I
I
say
can't believe
99
there's.
Ranch,
Well,
but
you're again, you're proving consistently wrong here. And what is stopping you from getting light up sneakers? That's my other question.
man, they're just not cool anymore.
But
You
what is
know,
stopping you
I
from
mean,
being a
I
trendsetter?
I think I would try to like rock a pair of light up sneakers, but like I feel like, man, I'd have to search it up. I don't know if anyone is actually still making light up sneakers like to this day. You know
They
that
are.
that
I checked.
my size. Really?
That was the big problem about them, is that they didn't make them in adult sizes. But it looks
Exactly.
like
That's
thanks
what I
to
was
the
gonna say.
internet,
It's
yeah.
mostly just like kid sizes, you know? And
But
so if
now,
you make adult sized light up sneakers that are like sick, you know, that look cool, I'm rocking 'em.
okay, we know what you can wear to the next DD event.
I will. I will. I'll rock light up sneakers.
Okay, that is my time. Thank you so much. It was really nice to see you again.